Hi everyone, my name's Andy Meir and I work at the University of Salford, and this week we've been having our second experiment within the virtual reality platform Spatial, a multifunctional, multi-purpose, multi-user experience which is amazing partly because it works across platforms. So whether you've got one of these, an Oculus Quest or a HoloLens, these are all compatible formats for Spatial. And we've discovered quite a few things about it. Myself, John and Dave, colleagues at University of Salford, all jumped into a multi-user experience to see what it felt like and to be within this virtual reality space together. And there are a few things that are really quite amusing about it, one of which is the first thing you do when you enter the space is to make a scan of your face or as a photograph of you, which it then uploads and adds onto a kind of avatar, three-dimensional avatar of you. So it does this quite well. I think I looked particularly creepy. Dave looked like he was an Oompa Loompa, bright orange. And yet it was good enough to feel like you're sort of with them. And we had a little bit of a play around to see what we could do with it. So one of the things I really loved is the collaborative illustration device within it. So it's a bit like Google's Tilt Brush, where you have a pen in your hand and you can draw something in 3 dimensions, but then other people who are there can also get involved with that illustration. So that for me is one of the really creative aspects of it that I'm really looking forward to exploring. You can do other things like bring in 3D models. So if you have a 3D printer model, you can bring that in and see what you can do to experiment with it, to manipulate it, to turn it around, get close to it. I think that's one of the nice aspects of the interface. You can bring in objects and really get close and understand what they look like and how they feel. And that I can imagine working very well in a collaborative setting too. You can do other things like bring people in that don't have virtual reality. So if you wanted to, you could share, as a spatial user, you could share your webcam. And once you do that, it projects a kind of panel onto the VR experience so that anybody in the room would see a kind of wall with a video of that person. You can also share things like browsers, you can write notes, you can voice dictate, it's got Slack integration, and I think it can really be quite an effective way of collaboratively working on projects. So we'll see what the next experiment brings, but so far so good. And if you want to join into an experience, then drop me a line.